Well, for more on Theresa May's exit, Chris Roebuck joins us now. He's an economist and leadership expert in London. Welcome back to Money Talks, Chris. Now, you and I have spoken a lot about Theresa May's trials and tribulations in the past. Now that she has stepped down, what do you make of her time as Prime Minister?
I think it's interesting. I would sum it up in two sentences. One, as you said at the beginning of the piece, she was the leader of the Conservative Party and never really at any point stepped up to become the leader of the country. So it was a triumph of politics over statesmanship. Secondly, it was the fact that she didn't recognise after the failure of the first, if not the second time her plan was put to Parliament, that her continued actions to push it through were flying in the face of simple reality.
Now, some might say that that aspect you mentioned was her being perhaps a little stubborn or oblivious. Others say that she was just being determined. Which one of the two attributes would you assign to her?
Well, shall we say one of the issues with leaders anywhere in any organisation is the ability to recognise that the situation is either untenable or has changed. Now, in most organisations, if somebody who reports to you does something and it doesn't work, and they come to you and say it didn't work, the question is, well, what are you going to do about it? Now, trying a second time might be acceptable, but when they try the same thing the third time, then you start asking the question, does this person really have any serious leadership capability to recognise the point at which determination starts to become arrogance in terms of ignoring reality?
Now, we heard at the start of the program Donald Trump telling her that perhaps Theresa May deserves more credit than she's received so far. Do you agree with that?
I think that to some degree she has been given a fairly hard time by a lot of people. As I said earlier, it was a triumph of politics over statesmanship, but she inherited a really difficult situation. The country was split 50-50, Brexit or Remain. The Parliament was effectively predominantly Remain, but her party was predominantly Brexit, if not hard Brexit. So at the beginning, she had a choice that was either to do what her party wanted or to do what perhaps the rest of Parliament wanted. She took the traditional British choice, and it's worth mentioning here that within the British parliamentary system, it is extremely rare to have compromise. It is about one party taking control and doing what they want, unlike in many European countries. So she took that course of action. Now, as a result, the deal she created would only work with her people. But when, because of the election, she didn't have enough people to get it through, that's when the problems really started.
Interesting. So what legacy do you think she leaves behind when it comes to the long and painful Brexit process? Has she made it easier or harder for her successor?
I think if you make the analysis that if she had accepted that her deal wasn't going to get through her own party, stepped up and been a statesman, and then effectively got compromise across Parliament, and Jeremy Corbyn isn't blameless in the fact that this didn't work towards the end, all she is doing is she's basically walking out and leaving the situation on hold, because when the new leader comes in, the numbers in Parliament have not changed. The EU deal has not changed. The backstop has not changed. The Democratic Unionists have not changed. So fundamentally, the choice of the new leader is exactly the same set of choices that Theresa May had.
OK, so let's talk about her successor now. No less than 11 Tory party members are vying for the top job. Who do you think will win in the end, and how will they deliver Brexit?
The fundamental challenge here is that the leader of the Conservative Party is being chosen by the Conservative Party. And therefore it will be reflective not of the population of the United Kingdom, but of effectively just over 100,000 members of the Conservative Party. As I said earlier, the Conservative Party itself, represented by its MPs, perhaps the party itself is more pro-Brexit than the MPs are. So inevitably the choice is probably going to be maybe somebody like Boris Johnson or somebody who is more hardline Brexit than Theresa May. That then leaves you with a fundamental problem in that they are leading a party that cannot get things through Parliament. They will be more hardline Brexit, but the remainder of Parliament remains more in line with a soft Brexit. And in the final analysis, my guess is there is going to have to be compromise because the EU is not going to move.
No, that's right. This compromise that eluded Theresa May over the last 3 years. We'll see if that changes. Chris Roebuck in
Indeed.
London, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.